if you think back, like going back 2015, comparing to where you're now, kind of what kind of things have you learned, and did you have any experience back then? Did you know what to expect? And maybe you're the user point of view especially.
Yeah, I think I had a lot of things in mind, how things will develop and how things will look, but then the software is producing or giving us ideas that we didn't even think of. Because for me it was about virtual commissioning, about testing the automation software earlier than in normal projects. But then you start it so that you start implementing the concept for the customer, showing that, and then you realize that this is actually helping us, helping the customer, and then our teams to discuss about the same thing in quite early phases of the project, rather than going so that it's just implementing the test software in there. So it's not just virtual commissioning tool, it's more of a sale tool in the beginning, then it develops through the project. So we develop the model in so that it starts as a sales tool, then we go through certain steps on the project, giving more input to the system so that it provides us more.
Okay, and I would expect that probably the model evolves. So when you have the discussion with the customer, you present what you have now, do changes, get back with the new version, again changes, and therefore go towards the optimal solution. Or
that's exactly.
Okay, how is it then? If you also look back, how did you work back then? If you were helping a customer, talking about I don't know how much you did work like this and how much you did layout design, layout planning, factory planning, but what kind of tools, what kind of ways of working did you have back then? What was it?
Pretty traditional tools, I would say. We used the CAD tools, mechanical CAD tools, making simple layout design, making the concepts, drawing tools, any kind of PowerPoints, Excel files and stuff like that. So pretty traditional tools were used. The problem with those kind of tools, they are good tools, I don't say that, but the tools that when you carry that model and whatever you do the sales phase with traditional tools, you can't leverage that information into the later phase of the processes. Now that we use this tool, we can take the same model and the work what's done already during the sales process phase. That can be used in a later phase, like Juha explained, and all the way through into the maintenance and developing the system for other functions and features and optimizing the system. So it's not stopping from the sales through the engineering. Once we are making the commissioning, it evolves even after that when we go through.
So basically this one data model kind of supports the whole, let's call it, production system life cycle. So from start to finish, so from the conceptual plan to the actual realization on the shop floor.
That's the at least that's our target. Let's put it that way.
And how do you find, maybe Juha, a question to you, if you compare working with traditional, let's say 3D CAD software? I believe you have many different CAD software in use.
Quite a lot.
So how do you compare, like if you take the layouting part of it, drafting the concepts together, how does it differ? The speed of working, ease of working, availability of components or equipment, how would you compare?
I think the main advantage on visual components is that you have the certain package of ready-made products which you can utilize, and then with the small changes you can make their own which suit that project like they should. And for traditional tools you kind of make them from the beginning. So you get some ideas which you can easily concept to get the main idea working, rather than just starting everything from the scratch. So you have a baseline where you can start, make the concept, then make it, as we talked before, that it goes further and further, developing the model through the project. So you can add more details in there. So it gives you quite a lot of more tools and possibilities in the earlier phase of the project. It gives you, maybe we could say it's a more faster way in the beginning then you can add more details there. But
okay, yeah, and I would expect that as you have to work with several CAD systems because of the customers.
Yeah.
Also, maybe you have preferred robot brands and so on, but you will probably have a diverse set of robots also from the customer point of view. You have to maybe work with different control systems, again, due to customer wishes or requirements.
Yeah.
And is it, are we, Visual Components, is it a platform that allows you to do all of this? Or how do you see that part?
yeah, especially working in robot projects. We have projects where customer has a certain brand of robot, they're thinking on changing it. We can check that how different brands work there, how we can utilize the existing system to make it work with a different brand, or using their tools or their project data to implement changes with your software. So we get some input from the customer, change things as we see it, and just by, for example, changing the robot brand, we can make the software work easily so that we can show the concept that this is how it works, and then adding more. For example, on the automation side, on the PLC programs, it gets quite easy to change software through OPC connection or whatever or we use in that customer case.
Yeah.
So it gets, or it's easy to implement different control systems into the model, so we control the model as we like in that case.
Yeah. So, Iiro and Juha, how do you see, if you look back in time, the time before Visual Components, the time that you've now utilized Visual Components for your business, and the time that is still up and coming, how has the business changed? How have the maybe customer expectations changed during this time? Can you give us an overview?
That's a good question. Expectations have grown. That's very easy to say. Once you show something fancy like virtual models and concepts, the expectation is more and more in every case, I would say, and customers are expecting that. Future of our business, I would say, future of the business is, of course, it's digital. Everything what we do, test, try, commissioning, FATs, SATs, we try to do them as digitally as possibly. I think our customers are expecting that as well. That will short down the actual commissioning time and short down the risks of the later phase of the projects, and speeding up and ramping up times are faster. So I would say those are the expectations. What it was before we started to use VC, it was something different. Expectations were lower in that sentence. They haven't been low ever, I would say. Not like that, but then again, the process how we do things has changed quite significantly.
Okay.
Since the VC is kind of like, it's not an additional phase of the work or any extra work. It's just we changed slightly the process, how we do things by utilizing VC all the way through the project. So that has changed a lot.
Yeah, I remember still when we visited our office and you said that VC is always there, kind of present, like breathing the air.
Yeah, in our process. Yeah, it is like that. So it's Juha can back me up now.
Yeah, so
is it like that? But then again, it's not something that now we do the VC things and then we start doing the traditional things and then we start doing something else. It's there all the way through the process.
Yeah, so I think it's maybe more adding features to existing components all the time. So Visual Components is something that we've added to our software testing environments or are part of our projects. So we've added that there, and in the future it's going to be more and more so that everybody's bringing more tools, and as Iiro said, everything is going more and more digital. So we'd expect that we have to and will add more and more tools to our toolbox, basically what we are using. And one example on the future that how things I think will change is that we would have to have more and more models from the existing projects that we've already done and implementing changes those. So the virtual commissioning is coming to a factor in that sense that now we are just using them to virtual commissioning. Then in the later phase we're using the same models to add more features to the existing cell or machinery on the shop floor. So we are testing those in advance with the existing models and adding more, checking that is this change a good thing, and adding features and using more and more tools to add those.
I see. If you think like, because you guys both mentioned virtual commissioning there, and I mean the digital processes and tools, and if you think about virtual commissioning, I remember I was presenting inside the company maybe 2011 after a trip in Germany, visiting some customers, and I heard from many customers the term virtual commissioning. And it was something on the rise already 10 years ago, but it's been taking time for it to mature and the tools to maybe become mature, the companies to kind of accept and adopt these tools, and that being the part of the process that you're actually testing something virtually. How does this see or show in your business, in the daily operations, in the customer projects? Is everything going that way, or is it some customers who want to proceed this way? How do you see?
I think it's at this point it's some customers, it's getting more and more popular, and related to that, as you said, in 2011 it was booming on and you saw that it's coming there, but maybe customers weren't able to, or well, not wanting to invest time or resources in that phase to implement that. So now it's more and more common. Everybody knows, or most of us know, how much it's affecting the workforce, how many hours you need to implement to get it working. So once the knowledge has grown, you get an idea that it's not actually an additional work. If you take it in a correct phase of the project, it's giving you more input rather than you have to put input to the system.
And you're anyway, I guess, working with the same tools and same code as you're working in the final project. So whatever you generate, you can reuse in the project deliverables.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we can talk a bit more about the projects in detail, but thank you for the insight already.
Thanks.